Mr. President, I rise to address the 2,000-page, trillion-plus year-end funding omnibus spending bill, which was drafted behind closed doors, away from public view, with only a limited number of people involved, members of the Senate and members of the House unaware of what deals were being cut and decisions were being made. It contains dramatic changes to federal immigration law that would increase by as much as fourfold the number of low-wage foreign workers provided to employers under the controversial H-2B visa program. It's been added to this bill without hearings and open process in the Senate. These foreign workers are brought in exclusively to fill blue-collar, low-wage, non-farm jobs, not agricultural jobs, in hotels and restaurants and construction sites, amusement parks, landscaping, truck driving, and many other occupations. You go into hotels and you go into restaurants. Are not Americans doing those jobs? Instead of 66,000 foreign workers, the bill would allow up to 264,000 foreign workers to be present in the United States on H-1B visas. Foreign H-2B workers are allowed to bring their spouses and their children with them, which of course results in costs being incurred by local communities, hospitals, and schools and such across the country. Meanwhile, the tax bill that will be moving with this omnibus bill makes permanent the additional child tax credit and the earned income tax credit, and it does nothing to block their future distribution of monies to illegal aliens. A tax credit to a person who doesn't pay taxes is a check from the government. It's not a tax deduction, it's a direct payment. It scores as a welfare benefit by the budget office. So this means more illegal aliens will continue to get the tax credits. And it should be stopped. It should long since have been stopped. We put in language that would prevent illegal aliens from receiving tax credits. It's unbelievable. The Inspector General for the U.S. Treasury Department, President Obama's own Treasury Department, has did an analysis of this and urged that it be fixed. People come here to America illegally. They got children somewhere around the world. They don't have a Social Security number. They use an I-10 identification document for executives who's supposed to travel in, but that's what it was intended for. And they use that, and they file some sort of tax return, and they don't pay taxes because their income is low, but they get a tax credit based on children that are not even in the country. I mean, how abusive is that? I understand this was rejected and not in the omnibus bill because President Obama didn't want it. So he gets to dictate what's in a congressional bill. That's something that I think would have 90% support by the American people if they understood how significant it was. They're different figures, but it's at least $4 billion a year in abusive, improper tax credit payments. So all these were rejected by the bill supporters. And the Republican-led Congress is about to deliver the President a fourfold increase in one of the most controversial foreign worker programs that we have. The result, higher unemployment for Americans and lower wages for Americans and recent immigrants. Immigration is a positive thing, properly conducted. Good people come into America, but I just want to say we're at record levels, both in total numbers and in a few years, the highest percentage of foreign-born in America will be reached, and it will continue thereafter. On top of this provision, this omnibus bill approves the President's request for increased refugee admissions, allowing him to bring in as many refugees as he wants. On the current law, he can do that. It's hard to believe, but he is allowed to do so. Under this bill, It will ensure that at least 170,000 green cards, that means permanent residency with a guaranteed path to citizenship, refugee and asylee approvals will be issued to migrants from Muslim countries just over the next 12 months. The risks associated with the refugee admissions program are significant. With respect to Syria, FBI Director James Comey repeatedly said we simply do not have the ability to vet refugees from Syria. Because of this bill, sanctuary cities will continue to get federal funds. The Obama administration can continue issuing visas to countries that refuse to repatriate, take back violent criminal aliens, and the President's executive amnesty continues. I'm just saying that we have a President with unlimited powers who has an agenda, and he's passing on the cost that's going to redound to the detriment of working Americans for decades to come. We should have put language in the bill to defund unlawful, improper executive amnesty, the President's actions that are unlawful. We don't have to fund his unlawful activity. There's no duty on the behalf of Congress to acquiesce and provide the money to create a big building over here in Crystal City to process millions of people that are in the country illegally because the President now says, I'm just going to let them stay. For years, the American people have suffered under the lawless, dangerous, wage-reducing immigration policies of this administration. They sent us to Washington. They sent us here, the people did, to protect their interest, to protect the people's interest, to ensure the defense of their families, and to advance the common good, the public interest. They did not send us here to bow down to the President's lawless immigration policies, nor to line the pockets of special interest in big business. That's not what we are here for. Who do we represent? American people don't want a fourfold increase in immigration. I know there's some special interest pushing for this. I've heard that. Tell me it's not so. And I was told it wasn't so. This bill explains why Republican and Democratic voters are in open rebellion. They elect people that they believe are going to take action to protect their security, their jobs, their wages, and what do they get? The big omnibus bill. And what does it do? It funds essentially the President's entire agenda. Our duty is to voters, to American people, not to interest, businesses, activist groups, and that kind of thing. No wonder people are upset. This legislation represents a further disenfranchisement of the American voter. What does a vote mean in this country?